Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori, and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. We love to cook. And we love to eat. We love to garden. We live a sustainable life. And every once in a while, we like to dance. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our kitchen. Welcome back to Whippoorwill Holler Kitchen. And today we got a little bit of surprise. Guess who's going to be helping me in the kitchen again? We're going to be making something really good today, and we're going to be cooking it. Hopefully in the oven of the wood cook stove, but you can cook it in your regular oven either way.
Of course.
But it's only like 12 degrees outside, so I thought we'd go ahead and take advantage of this and go ahead and cook it in the wood cook stove.
I'm going to be the slicer dicer, aren't I?
You're going to be the slicer dicer, and I'm just going to kind of walk us through this. Now, this is an old recipe of what they would call Swiss steak or pepper steak. This is kind of my version of it, and it starts out in a skillet, but it's going to end up in the oven, and it's going to cook a couple hours till that meat's just so tender. And we're starting out with a round steak, and we got some really good round steak because we was blessed enough to be able to buy some beef from a local farm, and it was some of the best beef. So we've got some tenderized round steak, and that's the best piece to really use for Swiss steak or pepper steak. What do you think?
I know it is, and I know that beef. I know how good it is.
It is good stuff.
Matter of fact, we got another half of beef coming.
We've not bought any meat in the grocery store in several years. I can't even tell you what it even costs anymore or what it tastes like, because we don't buy it. I've got my skillet here, and I've got probably about a half an inch of oil, and we use peanut oil a lot of times if we're doing a little bit of deep frying or just frying up a little meat or something. So I got my heat on medium high or medium low, and my meat's over here, and I'm going to just kind of step to the side of you, and I'm going to salt and pepper this meat. Do you want to do this?
I can. I'm a good salter and pepper. You didn't got it salted.
But we also have to put, this is a cup of flour. You can use self-rising flour, you can use all-purpose flour. It doesn't really matter. Because all we're going to be doing is browning this meat. Then we're going to take it out and set it aside. And we're going to get all the other ingredients together, saute that, put it in our baking pan, and then in the oven. So you won't really be cooking your meat all the way through. But this is really delicious. I'm going to finish helping you cut your onions up.
Don't like much.
So we didn't have school today because of weather and because we have had a lot of sick folks. But tomorrow we'll be going back to school.
Supposedly.
We think, hopefully.
He's double checking. My boss man's double checking about making sure we're not going to have plenty of staff there tomorrow.
Yes. Now, in my 1 cup of flour here, I'm going to put a good, probably, teaspoon of garlic. Do you want to put garlic on your meat too?
I do.
Because I know you like to season stuff up really good. I'm going to go ahead and put some salt in this flour. You can watch your salt and use a little bit of Mrs. Dash in it if you want to. Could you pass me that pepper, Mr. Brown? I'm going to put a little pepper too in here. So this is just our flour, our dredge for our meat to brown it.
Being we're cooking together, you can call me Paul if you want to.
Okay. People ask us a lot, why do you call him Mr. Brown? That's a question that's always asked, and I know that we've probably answered this a few times, but we can answer it again. You know, we worked together at school, And people know us as Miss Lori and Mr. Brown. So, and it's just respectful. And I guess being in front of other people, I'm just used to calling you Mr. Brown. And so we just always stuck with that.
And
you don't care.
The way I was raised, it don't really matter to me. You can call me whatever you want to.
Just as long as I call you to supper, right?
Call me to supper. We'll be in good shape. She does it for respect for me. I mean, it's just kind of a thing that in this area too. I mean, there's a lot of people refer to their husband as Mr. So it's just strictly out of respect. And
so I'm going to put a couple pieces of meat in this flour and get it dredged and get them brown on both sides. We got the onions cut up. Our bell peppers, I already cut them up for you.
I see that.
I tried to help you a little bit.
We had to go out and run the roads for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
It's funny how it was almost like the snow just made a strip down through there. So at school where we work at Imboden, it wasn't as bad as it was here up in the hills.
That's kind of 10 miles south east of us here, but through this area here, and my bus route through this Raven and Springs area that we have, we got quite a bit of, I don't know, we got it. Some places might have got 2 inches. And I know that's not a lot of snow, but it really got cold last night, about 15 degrees, I think, 13.
It's just, I think it's just different here in the hills because when we get any kind of snow or sleet or freezing rain, the roads are so dangerous because it's just hills and curves.
Hills and curves.
And big
drop-offs,
and we just have to be careful.
You don't want to slide off with a busload of kids.
No, that's for sure.
So we play on the caution. I mean, we do. I'll have roads in the morning that's going to be covered with. I'll have a few hills that's going to be slick, but we're going to have school ready right now.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to brown this meat up. Like I said, I'm going to just brown it, take it out. When we get all that done, we'll come back and we're going to finish this up and get it in the oven.
Yeah, because I'm getting hungry.
Well, it's going to be a little while.
Oh. I'm going to have to snack on something.
You may have to snack on something. But anyways, we'll be back in just a minute.
Come on.
Hey, this is the last of our meat that we've got browned up good.
It's all I can do to cut that up. I want to eat it.
I know.
I want to eat it.
It's not cooked all the way. You can eat it probably. Now, I'm going to take some of this. It's got some really good roux in there, but I need to get rid of some of this grease because that's just a little bit much for sauteing. But I'm going to leave some of them bits in there.
You better leave all them bits.
So you can start throwing your bell peppers.
Like this?
No, not literally, just kind of. And your onions. We're going to saute those up. I know it's already smelling good in here. Now,
this right here is going to put it over the top. I'm going to be so hungry.
Over the top, huh? Now, when I sliced up these bell peppers, they were those little sweet, I think they're Italian bell peppers.
What do we have here? About 2 small onions? Is that what it was?
Well, it was, I think it was a medium and 2 small ones because we were needing to use them. And I like, and especially when you're putting them in the oven, these onions are really going to cook down. So,
well, yeah.
There we go. So we got our bell peppers and onions in there. I've also got, now this, you don't have to put mushrooms in there. I'm going to put about 4 ounces in there and just let them cook. And of course we need to pepper and salt.
That's my specialty.
That's your specialty.
You know how much I like that pepper. Salt enhances and pepper changes. Right?
Where'd you hear that at?
From the famous chef, Danny Brown.
I know better than that. You are becoming pretty famous, though.
Famous chef.
Famous chef.
Well, you know how salt makes watermelon taste sweeter? But salt will enhance the flavor.
That's right. You're right.
You can over salt it, of course, but
now, we're not going to overcook these. We're just going to saute them a little bit because they're going to be in the oven for a while. And I don't like stuff just cooked to death. But I do want to saute this. And you can already see the onions are starting to loosen up a little bit. And it's smelling good.
oh, it's
I've got...
you could do that all day long.
I know. I've got 4 ounces of green chilies. This is optional too, but this kind of puts it over the top for pepper steak, Swiss steak. It's really good.
Yum.
So we're going to go ahead and put those in there. And I've got a baking dish right here, and it's probably really not big enough, but I can kind of layer them, eat it, won't hurt it. Once we got it in here and get our sauce on top, we're going to cover it up, put it right in that oven.
What is it?
No. I guess you could taste it if you wanted to.
No, it's good. Be alright.
Well, you got some little bit of exciting stuff fixing to start happening when the weather straightens up.
I'm getting younger every day.
Well, that's a lie, but
Oh.
if I'm not getting younger, you're not.
I am excited because I've never had one of these before.
Now, you have too.
Well,
We had a big one over there at the big farm.
we had a barn, but this, I'm getting a /barn/shop/whatever.
Well, yeah, this is...
But it's going to have concrete in the floor.
He's really excited, y'all, because all his life he's had to get down on the gravel.
Mud, dirt,
Mud,
whatever.
when he's working on something. So this man's really excited about this.
There's not a level spot on this hillside. You can't check the oil. You can't. It's just, so we're at a point where we can do this, and it's not very big. It's a 24 by 36, but it's going to have 6 inches of concrete. It's going to have a 12-foot door to go in and a side door, and eventually I'll have electricity in it, but they're going to start just as quick as the weather permits them to pour without having a lot of worries, or they can get in and out on this ground here.
I'm gonna, while you're
Maybe
talking,
May.
I'm going to put this in here.
Maybe May.
Maybe May. Yeah, that's
Boy.
true. This is 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. And we're going to go ahead and put that in there. Oh, you know what I did? I'm telling you, I got ahead of myself. I was supposed to put my garlic,
It'd be alright.
2 teaspoons. I like to saute it though a little bit.
It's going to saute for 2 hours. It'll be alright. It'll be alright.
Anyways, I don't know how I forgot that, but I did.
Because I was yakking.
Go ahead and finish your story though.
We got them part-timers. I do.
Okay. We need our cup of beef broth poured in here too.
Pour that in there?
Uh-huh. You think we're going to get all this in this pan?
No.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try awful hard.
We always outgrow the pan.
Okay, now we're going to put our seasonings in here. And in here we've got we got a teaspoon of oregano and a half a teaspoon of basil.
Basil and oregano.
Uh-huh. Oh, are you trying to be fancy on me?
Well, you know, I'll tell you something that bothers me.
Oh, no.
And it's just a pet peeve of mine, and all the professional cooks do it.
Be nice.
But when they take and put that blob right there in the center, that bothers me. I know it's going to stir in there. And she does it sometimes.
You want to put some pepper in there? I know you do.
I thought I did put some pepper. I'll put some more pepper.
Not yet. Not in the sauce. I'll tell you what. You got that stove cranking.
That stove is walking and I'm sweating.
Okay.
And here you have...
There is a teaspoon of garlic powder, roasted garlic, and there is a teaspoon and a half of smoked paprika.
Paprika smoked.
That paprika is what's going to give this sauce this special taste.
I'm going to mix that together.
You go right ahead. And I'm going to tell you who taught me this.
Was it me?
No.
Oh.
About the paprika. Especially in a tomato sauce. And a lot of y'all may already know this. I use paprika in a lot of my cooking. I don't know in a lot of my dishes. I think I've used it when I made cabbage rolls, the sauce for that. But if you put that paprika in your tomato sauce, Miss Vicky done this when she was here. You remember she made us, she cooked us supper one night, and she put a bunch of paprika in that.
So Miss Vicky, when you'll come back and cook for us again.
When she put that, I mean quite a bit of paprika in that pasta sauce, it just brought it over the top. And it was
She's
really good.
2,000 miles west. Right at 2,000 miles by highway.
Now I'm just going to put a little bit of my parsley that came out of the garden.
Homegrown.
Homegrown. I'm going to let this simmer for just a little bit.
Oh, look at that.
Meanwhile, in my baking dish, I'm going to put my first layer of round steak.
And you oiled that dish. You done said that, didn't you?
Yeah. I was looking at to see if your mouth was watering yet.
Oh, yeah. I got quiet, didn't I?
Yeah. It's like
I got quiet, so I'm looking at food when I get quiet. When
like
I
a little kid.
Like a little kid in a candy store.
Well, I'm going to let this simmer just a little bit before we put it on there, okay?
Speaking of that, do you remember what it was like to go as a kid to a candy store?
Yes, it's very exciting.
It was a special treat. I think kids nowadays don't get to have that special. That they do, but I don't know if they appreciate it as much as I did because it was pretty special.
Well, of course.
Well, I mean, it was something I didn't have sodas every day, and I didn't have candy every day, and not that you need that every day, but it was just go uptown with my grandpa in town of just where the crow flies, a few miles from here.
I'm going to add just a little bit more salt.
And him buy me an ice cream, say like a sidewalk sundae. Y'all remember some sidewalk sundaes? Man, they don't make it like I don't see them around here anymore.
Not around here.
It was.
Do you remember the 5 and dime stores?
Yes, there was one in Pocahontas.
There was one in Thayer, Missouri, because that's where me and Grandpa go buy hog feed and feed for the cattle and chicken feed. And it was uptown Thayer, because he banked there on the corner, and he'd let me go across the street to the 5 and dime store.
It was nice.
Okay, you are seeing me add more garlic and more salt to this. What
And
you need
she's
to
starting to
do
come
is
to the
you
boil.
taste it. You taste it.
You ain't gonna let me taste it.
Yeah, well. I don't like using one of these spoons because
Well, that's gonna be hot, ain't it?
it's too bad, I don't think.
You gonna do it? You gonna burn me?
Well, here, you don't trust
You gonna
me.
burn me?
You're going to spill it.
Oh, watch it!
Ah, dang. Now, you have to know that as it cooks, it's also going to mellow out. Does it need more salt?
No. Nope, no more salt.
What's it need?
I think that it needs to be put in that right there.
Okay, we're
what I
fixing to do that. You go stoke the stove up.
Warm the fire up.
Because that oven, I want it at about 325. So if you're cooking it in your regular oven, 325, just slow cooking it for a couple hours. Keep it covered. If you're wanting it a little bit faster or something, you can put it at 350. It's going to cook. But,
Let me tell you something. Man, that tastes good.
it's going to taste even better once.
You know, you could eat that That sounds crazy, but that'd be good over pasta.
Well, yeah, that's what it is, you silly goose.
That's what it reminds me of.
That's what it is. Pretty much.
Silly goose.
You silly goose. You go stoke the stove up so we
Go stuff it full of wood and stoke it.
Yeah. That way we can open the front door so we don't burn up.
Man, this looks good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be tender too when we get done with it. So I'm going to put the other 2 pieces of steak right there. And I'm telling you, this is quite a bit of sauce. But it's going to cook down, y'all.
Granny, the oven's at 300.
Well, I need 325.
She's at 300. Coming up.
And you do want to cover this. You know what? When we get this out, you could even put mozzarella cheese on top of that if you wanted to.
I'm talking like, yeah. That's gonna be good.
So we got it covered up.
Anyway, as I was talking about my building, I think it's going to be, we tried to pick some colors that will look good around here, and y'all know I'm a gray person. You see I got this gray shirt on, but it's not going to be gray. My wife had some input on it. So
Well,
we decided on the color, and it could be done if the weather would straighten up a little bit, and it could be done probably, I'm guessing within a few weeks. It could be 3 weeks, it could be a month, but I told them I wasn't no hurry. I'd rather not have a real, you know, the roads fall in from the concrete trucks and all that stuff. So
okay. I'm going to get this in the oven.
you better, because that fires are rolling over there. You get that in the oven.
It's still sitting at 300. We're going to put this in there. We're just going to leave it alone. I'll check it in about an hour though.
It's that fire.
That's a hot fire.
It's pretty cold outside, but it's getting warm in here.
It's hot in here, I can tell you.
Y'all look at her bare feet.
Don't look at my feet.
Running around here barefooted. Like it's summertime. So, I'm sitting here drinking some coffee and waiting for supper we just put in the wood cook stove. And I bought me a couple of these hats. It's an Irish flat cap or a Boston scally. And I wanted to put it on for Edward and C in Ireland. C has been a subscriber and Edward for a long time. And I actually sent Edward a pair of bibs we did one time. And I figure he's probably got them about wore out now. But C, we hope you're feeling better and doing good. And I put this, I like this hat, I really do. And I've been wearing it a lot, and I'm gonna continue to wear it a lot. And while I'm thinking about it, all you people that haven't subscribed to Whippoorwill Holler, it would help our channel if you would subscribe and hit the notification button, the little notification bell. It helps YouTube put our channel out the more subscribers we have. And they're telling us that we have a lot of people watching that's not subscribed. So if you'd go ahead and subscribe, we would truly appreciate that. And I have to take my hat off in the house. That's something that I can't do. I was taught not to a hat in the house, and it bothers me to have one on in the house. And I won't walk in your house with a hat on. Oh, I might forget sometimes, but I wouldn't do it. Just the way my mom and dad raised me, just to show respect to your neighbors. And so, that being said, we're waiting on supper.
So there are several different ways that you're going to be able to eat this Swiss steak. You can eat it with rice, you can eat it with pasta, you can eat it with mashed potatoes. I'm going to kind of go in between there, and I'm going to cook up some potato gnocchi. We love this stuff, and I haven't had it in a while. And I get this off of Amazon. It's a really good brand. It's called Cara Mama or something like that. Not sure that I'm saying that right, but it's a really good brand of gnocchi. And first off, I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pot of water boiling. Then I'm going to throw these in there for about 3 minutes, and I'm going to take them out. And then after that, after I drain them, I'm going to kind of saute them in a little bit of brown garlic butter. So that should be good. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put a little bit of salt in the water. It's coming up to a boil. It doesn't have to be a hard boil. And we're going to put our gnocchi in here. Okay, I was trying to do that with one hand and it was not working. So we got our gnocchi in here. We're just going to let this come up to a little boil, and I'm going to let them boil for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to take them out of the water. My potato gnocchi it's been simmering for about 2 minutes. And I've got about 5 tablespoons of butter here in my skillet. And what I'm wanting to do, I don't want to burn this butter, but I do want to brown it just a little bit. And you got to be careful with it. Okay, my butter is browning pretty good. And I got a big tablespoon of minced garlic. And I sure don't want to burn this garlic. So I'm just going to let it saute for just a few minutes. Then I'm going to take this up off the direct heat, and I'll put it up here on my trivet. So if you're doing this on top of your regular cook stove, you'll just saute this for just a little bit after it's brown just a little. And then you'll turn your heat off. So I've got my trivet here, and I'm going to put my skillet up there. Our meat's done. It's sitting over here on the side. And I'm going to get my gnocchi out. And I'm just going to kind of throw it over here in my skillet. And the reason I've got the skillet off the main heat is because while I'm doing this, I don't want my butter to burn. I'm not going to put any more salt or any more pepper or anything like that in it. This will be our side dish with our pepper steak or Swiss steak, whatever you want to call it. And I'm pretty sure the way it looks, there'll be leftovers too. I always like to cook with leftovers to eat the next day for either Mr. Brown's lunch or maybe supper. You don't want to overcook your gnocchi. 2 or 3 minutes in the pasta water, and that's plenty of time. Okay. I am fixing to put this back on here. And I'm going to let this saute for just a few minutes. Okay, my gnocchi's done, and I'm going to take just a little bit of Parmesan, sprinkle it over the top. Our Swiss steak is done, and it's tender. Smelling good. I might even put some Parmesan on top of it too. Okay, let's fix our plates. So was it worth waiting for? Ooh, that's tender.
You can cut that meat with a fork, but I'm sitting here doing it.
It was in there about an hour and a half, wasn't it? So I said 2 hours, but this 2 pounds of meat, it's good and tender in an hour and a half. And I done got it on my clothes.
It's so good though. Yummy. But it's so hot.
It just come out of the oven. And it's really good with that potato gnocchi, isn't it? That's a really good side dish to eat with it. Or it is to me.
Like good garlic.
Garlic and Parmesan. You can't go wrong with this dish. You done good.
Yummy.
So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all enjoyed the recipe, and I hope y'all try it, because I'm telling y'all, you know, sometimes we have to go through all the steps and explain it, but this was really, once you got everything cut up, it's pretty easy to get together and get in the oven, and it's so worth it. It's just really delicious, and we're going to have quite a bit left over. We can either freeze it and eat it another time, or take some for lunch tomorrow or for supper. Share it with somebody or whatever.
Yeah, I'd share.
Yeah, you'd share. Yeah, I done got it on my clothes here. I can't eat. I need a bib, I guess. But it is really good. So,
Lots of good flavor.
yes, it is. Everything just kind of married together, and it's so good. I've not had Swiss steak, or what you might call pepper steak, in a long time, so I'm really going to enjoy this. But I hope y'all like this video, and there's going to be more to come with me and Paul Brown cooking together and talking and discussing life and everything else. You know, it's just everyday life is what we do. So we enjoyed it, and we are really enjoying this meal.
Absolutely. It's delicious.
Y'all have to try it.